then give you, then take you, then break you. God does not break you, then give you, then bless you, then take you. He takes you, then he blesses you, then he breaks you, then he gives you. I think we've lied to a generation by promoting our Instagram version of Christianity. Because nobody posts the breaking. You ain't trying to see how many likes you can get with the breaking. We've lied to them because we've told them, get saved, serve Jesus, it's wonderful, and it most certainly is. There's no other way to live. But if you want to be used, you gotta be broken. If you want to be used, you gotta be processed. You can't rely on your looks. You can't rely on your talent. You can't rely on who mama and daddy is. You gotta get along with God and get your own anointing. And the only way it happens is it takes you, it blesses you, it breaks you. What ministry? They think preaching is an easy way to make some good money. Number one, it ain't that easy. Number two, we won't even talk about the money. Pipe dreams ministry. I want to go to Uganda. Never been to Disney World. Uganda.
What's that?
14, I'm an apostle. I think that's all wonderful and fine and good. But I promise you, there's going to come a break. Can I get an amen from some of the parents?
Amen. Amen.
This is the stuff that nobody ever told me about as a young preacher. I remember being your age, 15, 16, 17 years old. I'm assuming that's your age. I can only see about 3 of you. I remember being 15, 16, 17 years old. I was in my taking season. Every church I went into, everybody goes through those seasons where you're like a prophecy magnet, where no matter where you go, somebody's going to give you a prophetic word. God's going to use you. That happened. There's a season where that happened to me all the time, 15, 16, 17, 18, all the time. Every church I went into, I would sit in the back and they would call me out. They'd say, that ruggedly handsome-looking young man in the back. God's going to do this. And they start saying language I didn't even understand yet. They were saying, you got the mantle of Charles Finney. Charles Finney was an attorney and way too smart for me to have his mantle, but that's very much beside the point. You got the mantle of Charles Finney. You got the mantle of John Knox. You got the mantle of that person. All these mantles, so many mantles I can't even breathe. God was taking. Church I went into, even churches that didn't believe in the gifts of the Spirit. They've had people walk up to me and say, I don't know why I'm telling you this. This feels kind of weird, but I just feel like I'm supposed to tell you something. God's going to do it. Of course you are. And I wrote all of these down in a journal. I wrote all these prophetic words down in a journal because Paul told Timothy, you wage war with the prophecies that God's spoken over you. So I'd write them down and I would read them and I would weep and I would think, oh my God, this amazing, all-powerful God knows this little boy in the backwoods of Alabama and he wants to use him to shake the world. I was absolutely enamored and amazed. Now you don't want to serve God for the rest of your life. Do this. Because God was taking in my teens. In my 20s, doors to the world opened. I got to meet all my preaching heroes. My 20s, I got to preach on TV, and y'all didn't know what that is. Don't ask your mom. Preach on TV, preach on God TV, and things like that. The doors were opening because I thought, this is it. Served God my whole teenage life. Didn't go out, didn't hang out. I stayed in my room. I studied and I prayed because I was preparing for a day when God was going to use me. And now the doors were opening and I thought, sure, this is it. I remember I was preaching one night in a service. After I got done preaching, I was in my late teens or my late 20s, and I got done preaching, and afterwards a great, sweet woman of God walks up to me. She says, "Oh, Brother Casey." She says, "Oh, you have such a gift." She said, "But all the things you must suffer." And I thought, well, get out of my face. Do I need to tell you? Do I need to tell you about all the mantles of my life? Oh, the things I'm gonna suffer. You must be outside your mind. I'm getting to travel the world and preach. I'm getting paid big money to preach. I'm getting to fly on private jets to islands in the Caribbean and preach. This is it. And then when my 30s hit, all hell broke loose against our life. Because God took me in my teens, blessed me in my 20s, broke me in my 30s. Oh, and I had studied and I had read all of the pastoral leadership books, and I could teach classes on theology and New Testament and biblical Greek and all of the stuff that I thought you had to have to be prepared to do something for God. And it's all wonderful and it's all necessary and it's all get as much training as you possibly can. Because I knew a lot about God and I could preach for God in the taking and the blessing. I got to know God in the breaking. That's why some of you are going through some of the things you're going through, because God's going to use it as a weapon in your life later on if you can't survive. I grew up without parents that were not Christians and that were heathen and that were constantly trying to discourage me from serving God. And I knew if I can survive this, God's going to use it and God's going to redeem it to help me shake a generation if you can survive the breaking. So God took me, He blessed me, and He broke me. And all of our, when you're being broken, all of the Christian cliches don't work. God's good all the time, God's good. Because sometimes when you're going through stuff, somebody says God is good, you will say, really? He's really good all the time? I ain't getting no help in here. When you're in the breaking, that's when you know it. He never violates His own order. And I came to encourage everybody in this room tonight in some twisted kind of way. And everybody in this room, you are somewhere in the order of God. If you're in the taking, good. That means the blessing's next. If you're in the blessing, I'm going to pray for you. Because that means the breaking's next. If you're in the breaking, good, because that means the giving's next. And when I say giving, I mean the people that you are called to reach, the people you are called to feed, the assignment, the mandate that is on every one of your lives. You don't get to the giving without going through the taking, the blessing, and the breaking. Oh, you want the giving, you want to write books about the giving, and you want to preach sermons about the giving, but you don't get there unless you go through some stuff first. That's why the Bible says they knew Him in the way He broke the bread. Because if you want to know God for real, you get to know Him not by preparing your sermons. You get to know Him by getting on your face and saying, God, where are you? And this is something interesting I've learned about God. God treats us like an old typewriter. Y'all don't even know what that is. Google it when you get home. Y'all know what a typewriter is? is unfortunate. Typewriter, the thing that you type on, young people. And you would type. This thing would go ding. It just slide it all the way back over. And you upset because your Wi-Fi is only getting 800 megs down instead of 14,000. God treats us like an old typewriter because God takes us. Then He takes us. Then He. And while we're shouting and celebrating that God's finally moving in our life and that God's giving us and doing something to us, you know what God's doing? And then I'm going to take you again. Then I'm going to bless you again. Then I'm going to break you at a deeper level so I can give you at a greater level. And then when God starts giving us at a greater level, you know what God's doing? Then I'm going to take you, bless you, break you, and give you. Take you, bless you, break you, and give you. Because this is the order of God. Somebody shout hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Man, can come on up wherever they're at. Nobody told me about the breaking. I fought so much traffic to get here that it's unspeakable. To tell you this, you're somewhere in the order of God. Your only job is whether you're in the taking, blessing, the breaking, the giving. Your only job is to say, Lord, yes, in every season. When I'm on top of the world, yes. When the world's on top of me, when doors of opportunity are flying open, and every dream that I've had in my heart is being fulfilled, yes. And when I have no idea where you are, yes. You know, I started off by teaching you about the gap between when God says, when God does. The gap between promise fulfillment. Usually when we're in the gap, I was on a train one time over in England. We were actually on a train from London to Manchester, England. We were on this train. There's a large gap between the train and the platform that you had to step over. Every time we would pull up and those doors were open for people to step off, you would hear this lovely female British voice. I'm a little rusty on my female British voice, so I'm not going to try it for you. But she would say, mind the gap. Mind the gap. In other words, what she's saying was, make sure you don't trip in the gap. Make sure you don't fall in the gap. Make sure you don't quit in the gap. Because when we're in between promise, fulfillment, the number one question we normally ask is, God, why is this happening to me? That's the wrong question. The right question is, God, what are you doing in me? There's something in me that you're trying to get out of me. Because you see that if I don't deal with this now, it will compromise my future. So God has to purify so he can trust you. And he has to trust you before he can use you. The reason God has to trust you before he can use you is because the same number of people you can help is the same number of people you can hurt. We want to get to the giving. We want to get to the being used. But we're not there yet, so we're still in the process. The purging, the purifying, the death to self, the death to sin, the death to envy, the death to jealousy, the death to gossip, the death to lust and perversion, because if it's not dealt with now, it'll show up again later. That's why it takes you through the breaking. Because I got to get this out of you. And once I get this out of you, I can move through you. It's the same thing that happened when God tells Saul. He tells King Saul over in 1 Samuel, he says, I want you to go into Amalek and I want you to smite all of the Amalekites. I want you to kill all the men, all the women. And then he said this, I want you to even kill all the babies. I remember reading that and thinking, man, that ain't right. And I looked at the text and then it hit me. Even though it's a baby, it's still an Amalekite. Even though it looks innocent at this stage, if it goes undealt with, it'll show back up at a later stage, fully mature. Saul didn't kill all the Amalekites. God rips the kingdom from him. Saul dies in 2 Samuel. He gets his head cut off. You know who cut off his head? An Amalekite. The thing he refused to deal with in the breaking. Stand with me. I want you all over this room, throw both hands up toward heaven. Throw both hands up toward heaven.